So here I am for another trading recap. So as you can see, I did not took any trade again for the day, so let's talk about that. But first let's talk about the bias for the day. So today the bias was very simple. If we did not add any sweep, I would be bearish. If we had a sweep of a low, I would be bullish. If we had a sweep of an high, I would be bearish. So here when you had the market open, we were, as you can see, very bearish. We had a bearish Asian session, we had a bearish London session after the sweep here to mitigate this fair value gap. Sweeping here, we had a very bearish candle here with this big wick, and then reacted, as you can see, very bearish London session. So I was expecting to see a bearish New York session after that. So without any sweep, and I would be bearish, as you can see. And that's what we did. We opened and then we gone lower. Here, if we had swept this low on the one session, I would be bullish, but we did not add a sweep, so I was bearish. Still, if we did not add any sweep, so on the 1 minute, I just here I waited to see either a sweep here or a sweep here. As I said, I was bearish, but still I did not find any trade. Here I was a bit bullish after we had this sweep. We had a very good reaction. We inverted this gap. I thought about taking a long after this inversion of the gap, but we had the news at 3 p.m. So I just waited to see the news, and as you can see, we had this big wick, this big candle, and then we gone lower. This was the main liquidity level that I had for the day, was this Asian session low. So I just waited to see a sweep there. As you can see, it was a daily fair value gap, very bullish fair value gap. This was a very good sweep also on the 4 hours. On the 1 hour, we also swept a low inside of a 1 hour fair value gap, also a 1 hour inverse fair value gap. So very high confluence sweep here with a lot of liquidity levels. So I just waited to see a sweep there. We had a sweep, and I just waited to see a bullish formation. Here we had a breakout structure, it is candle up. We also inverted this small bearish gap. We inverted the gap, we created this bullish gap, then we mitigated the gap, but still I was not interested on taking longs here. We had those two bearish gaps still. We could just react here, but then we could go higher and just respect these gaps and continue going lower. We had a very good sweep, but still I like to wait for a confirmation to take a trade. So I just waited to see inverse gap here. I waited for the inverse gap, and here I also had marked the equilibrium level. So here, if we had a candle closure above the 0.5 level, I would start to be bullish. As you can see, we had a candle closure above. So just waited to see a candle closure above. Also, this bearish gap, the first one, we had here another one. But because we had already a candle closure above the 0.5 level, I was starting to be bullish, and I would just wait to see this gap get inverted, and that's what we had. So I just decided to put my entry here. I'll just show you. I just decided to put my entry here at the inverse of the gap, and I would have my full TP at the London high, I think. Let me show you. Yes, it was at the London high, and I had these levels marked. This was the first TP, and this was the TP2. Here the full TP, as I said before. But unfortunately the price inverted the gap, and then it just decided to go higher without a retest of the gap that I wanted it to get retested. So it was a bit unfortunate. The vision for the day was very good also, but again the price just did not mitigated my entry. It's happening a lot these days. I don't know why, but the price action is feeling a little bit strange. In the summer I had trades like these. We would have the inversor gap, but then the price always gone to retest the gap. But in the past weeks the price is just ignoring the gap, and it's just going higher without a mitigation of my entry. So lately the past weeks have been a little bit unfortunately, because the price does what I wanted to do, but then it just did not just refuses go to my entry to fill the longs or the shorts, so it was a bit unfortunate for the day, but it is what it is. I followed my strategy. I was patient, so I can say that was a decent day. Even without a trade, it can be decent days. It's better to not have a trade than to have a losing trade, so it is what it is. I could have also entered here at this inverse of the gap. Here we have this inverse of the gap. The price mitigated and started going higher. But still, for me, the risk reward was not the best here. I prefer to take a long here. The price did not. The price ignored my entry, ignored the retest of this gap, so I just have to accept. So as I said before, it was a decent day. I followed my strategy. I was patient, even though I did not add a trade. So it is what it is. So if you liked the video, like and subscribe. And tomorrow I'll be back for another trading recap. So see you soon.